What's up, everybody? Welcome to Boys Basketball on the Mire, where tonight your Montgomery Cougars host the Red Devils of Hunterdon Central. Keith Glock, Tim Bartholomew, Matt Pogue, Jen Kroc, Mandy Shovlin, all here with you, and we couldn't be more excited about it. Boys, how we doing tonight?
Doing great, man. I got to have a nice little track practice, went home, did some sight works with my kids, and then came back here.
Fantastic. Pogue, how about you?
It was good. We set up. Things went well. That's a change.
Yeah. All right, I was going to say, I was like, he's not being sarcastic.
No. They actually went well. Yeah, it was weird.
Everything was good. You still won't climb a ladder.
Yeah,
though.
worst thing that happened is you almost had to.
I'll climb it. I can't be top step. No. Like, I need to be able to brace something. I'm not just like a stand on the top.
So, we have wall cam, but the problem is, like, the producer and director won't set wall cam up.
I produced the idea for wall cam. Now you set it up. I'm not going up there.
Well, tonight, guys, always one of my favorite games of the season. A lot of familiarity with Hunterdon Central. They come in 9-7. They are coached by somebody that we know very well, Tim and Mike Falco. Talk a little bit about that and how that kind of, I know you've had conversations with them through the years about, kind of the dichotomy of teaching in Montgomery and coaching at Central and then having this.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rough life. You got to, what I mean? You're a Montgomery fan for the most part until, you're not.
Right.
But, he's a fabulous coach. He's coached at TCNJ. He's got some experience, in higher levels. He's, you can never discount a team that has coaching like that. He always takes these guys and makes them the best that they possibly can be. They always live up to their potential. They're a terrific team. If you look at their losses, they've got like 2 losses to Gill, 2 losses to Wak Chung, Rutgers Prep. So they haven't lost to
Right.
schlubs. So they're a team that we're going to be careful with tonight and make sure that we are on the top of our game.
No doubt. Wanted to, we were talking about before the game started, just like what this game and this, means, because we're not even in the same county as these guys. But, through the years, it just seems like it's been one epic battle after the other. And, for me, neither of you guys were with us, back in 2018 when this happened. But up at Hunterdon Central, one of the best Hunterdon Central teams that they've ever had. Montgomery went up there and just heavy underdog, trailed by double digits into the second half, well into the second half, only to make what was a pretty fantastic comeback, and we thought it would be good if we could bring that to you guys. And this from January of 2018. Boy, that was one of the most entertaining ball games I've kind of ever been a part of. Just to see them come back, and I think I alluded to it in the highlights that here at our place, maybe a week or two before, Hunterdon Central came all the way back, and we were about to upset them. And they closed, I think, a 12 or a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter. And the name of the young man for Hunterdon Central was absolutely fantastic. Escapes me at the moment, but he hit a shot that made Riley Green jealous. Yeah. I think with like two hands in his face, and it was just a pair of epic battles that season, and those are two of my favorite Meyer wins. Outside of that 27-2 season, but. We played that for you, I think, out there in Meyerland, just so you can maybe get a bit of an understanding about just how hot this rivalry goes, even though they're not in the same county. And I don't expect anything less of it today. I just don't.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's just funny to watch that and see some of the old familiar faces, and then a little bit younger. Yep. Doing some things that you didn't expect from them back then, but they stepped up, and that's going to be the name of the game today. Is I think we've said it all season. It's a reoccurring theme. Is who's going to step up and make those plays and get those runs going. Yeah,
no doubt about it. The question will be, at least for me, I was thinking back about the game the other night and. Just what this team is getting out of Ryan Curry and how much can he play on this ankle as this season, keeps going on. I don't know.
I mean, it'd be foolish to think that it's not getting to him, but the way he's been playing, you wouldn't be able to tell. But at the same time, he's gritty, so that might be a good thing and a bad thing because he wants to play, he wants to be out there, but get to playoff games and you really want him there, and not necessarily in some of these. But
I know. It's the truth. No doubt about it. Anyway, all right, we got less than a minute to go before we get to starting lineups, so we'll step away for the national anthem. We'll come back. We'll give you the starting lineups, and then we will have tip-off. Boys basketball here against Hunterdon Central in the Den. It's Teacher Appreciation Night. You're caught in the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back to Montgomery. Keith Glock, Tim Bartholomew, Matt Pogue, Jen Crock, and Mandy Shovlin with you for boys basketball. We are just about set for tip-off here in Skillman. And let's bring you the starting lineups first for the Red Devils of Hunterdon Central. They come into the game with a record of 9-7. They're coached by Mike Falco. Tyler Casella will start it, and Joseph Say. They're the two seniors in the lineup. And they are joined by a troika of juniors, Brian Johansson, Charles Gillikin, and Matt Siskowski. And as you hear them being announced behind us, let's bring you the starting lineup for your Montgomery Cougars.
Kai Lewis, senior, guard.
Noah Velocic, junior, forward.
Matt Prescott, junior, forward.
Ryan Curry, sophomore, guard.
Chris Rubio, junior, forward.
Normal starting five, quote unquote, back out there for the Cougs after a bit of shuffling the last couple of weeks. You know, all things considered, Tim, I got to say that, and I'm going to say this with confidence that I'm not going to put the Glock hex on this whole thing, that every season, you know, a team, as you go through the long winter season, because it's so long.
It is long.
That you go through a bout where somebody gets sick, and then you're fighting to make sure the locker room doesn't get sick. They haven't had to deal with that this year, despite the insane stuff that's been going around.
Yeah.
And for the most part, to be as healthy as they are and really only had to do the shuffling that they've had to do, I think they're pretty fortunate.
Yeah, I mean, that's always a big name of the game, you know. I feel in track a lot of times you get to the championship meets, and sometimes that plays a role.
Let's head over to Mandy Shovelin for a little pregame insight. Mandy, what do you have for us?
All right, guys, tonight's matchup is between 11-7 Montgomery and 9-8 Hunterdon Central. Tonight we hope to see big game from Ryan Curry and Matt Prescott coming off their big game against Rutgers Prep. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Mandy. Here we go for tip-off. Chris Rubio, as he has been oft to do, wins the tip, and the Cougs will play offense. Tyler Casella is drawing the matchup as it looks like Hunterdon Central is going to play man-to-man defense as he steps out on Curry, and you see him blanketing him as tightly as he possibly can. Kai Lewis will drive into the lane, throws up that left-handed floater. It's no good. Rubio scrambling to try to get to it and can't. A little dribble drive, but Vlasic there for the kickball.
I think we're going to see a lot of that man, but they're going to crash on Rubio when they get it into the hole.
That was about as much agility as we've seen from Rubio on the boards there to really, like, essentially get block to block.
Yeah.
Red Devils will try their hand at a three, but a great job by Prescott to block out, and he throws it right back into the middle, and it ends up in a layup easily done from Siskowski.
Yeah, Kai was underneath, and he's going to be hard pressed to stop something like that.
I don't think Prescott needed to throw all the way back into the middle the way he did, as Rubio will hoist a three. That is no good off the front rim, but Curry's in the middle scrapping for it, and they'll call a held ball.
Yeah, it was a pretty good attempt at it just to put back, caught it with his left hand, threw it right back up, and, just caught a little bit of the front iron.
Just underway here in Montgomery. Hunterdon Central with an early lead, just over a minute into this ball game. Despite that 9-7 record, Hunterdon Central, a very talented team. Tim, you mentioned, who they've played. As we'll get a steal as Prescott ended up getting a hand on it. Kai Lewis, some razzle dazzle, and just maybe tries a little too much. Got excited. Oh, nearly an offensive foul on a push-off by Siskowski, but no call.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that wasn't a push. I mean, it blatantly dropped his elbow into his hip. That's when I'm sure they'll finally get back. Eventually the ref's going to make up for that.
Don't know how long they're going to allow him to, and you saw the ref give him a talking to, as Rubio misses on the left hand. What I was referring to was Casella just basically tapping Curry on the chest the entire time he had the ball. I don't know that's going to fly. But a quick 6-0 lead for Hunterdon Central as Charles Gillikin on the receiving end of a pass into the lane.
Yeah, this is one of the things we haven't seen. Usually we don't get off to a slow start. Usually it's a quick start and then maybe fade. So I'll be interested to see how they deal with it.
They're trying to clearly pound the ball into Rubio as Kai Lewis will try his hand at a three, and he knocks it down. Rainbow style for Kai Lewis, cuts the lead in half.
Nothing but net, baby.
Kai has proven that, if given the space, he absolutely can shoot the three, as Rubio doing what he does best inside, and that's altering shots.
And Kai coming down with it, so he's having a decent start to this first quarter.
Vlasic goes behind his back, and they're going to get the ball out of bounds off Hunterdon Central. And get another look at Kai's rainbow three-pointer.
Do we got enough time?
We're golden. We're
okay,
golden.
Just checking. That was in the air a little bit.
Pogue was right on the ball with that one.
Nice.
Curry will leave for Prescott, but he'll try his hand at a three. That's no good.
That was a little deep.
That's a look I'm sure they'll take all day long.
As we're
And they're going to get Kai Lewis on a foul as Brian Johansson draws the offense.
As we're getting on this side of the court, the student section looking pretty good tonight.
It was tropical Thursday of Spirit Week, as we have a pep rally tomorrow.
Nice, and they just went with it.
Indeed, Curry with a block from behind as Jose just couldn't hang on to it. Curry with a jump stop, and he's got it taken out of his hands. An acrobatic layup, no good, but a putback there for Siskowski.
And Hunter Central's doing a great job just hustling, and they're crashing 3 guys to the board on their offensive series. So, you know, they're getting a lot of rebounds. Montgomery's got to do a good job crashing the boards as well.
Connor Hersek is into the game for Hunterdon Central, and you see Linez check in for the Cougs. Prescott will walk it up. We saw his ball handling ability on display the other night, as he does well there.
Looking to work it into the post.
And they do. Rubio, he spins to the baseline, and they're going to call a travel. Pretty good job by Gillikin there to man up on Rubio. Seemed like he just caught the ball a little far away, you know, maybe a little farther away from the basket than what he's used to. Gillikin. And that's going to be a travel the other direction, sure.
Yeah, I was going to say. Took a lot of steps there. Might have got away with it in the NBA.
Johansson swished his pivot foot and ultimately cost him a possession. So we're past the midway point of quarter number 1, and it's been slow going for the Cougs, save for a Kai Lewis three-pointer. Linez will run a little bit of offense as he'll try to get to the hoop. Loses the handle for a moment, and the layup rolls off, and here comes Siskowski. Good job by Prescott to alter that shot, but it ends up getting batted back outside. A 3 on the way is up and good from Johansson, and a timeout for Montgomery. Boy, not the way you want to start it.
No, you know, things not going our way, and letting Hunterdon Central get some open shots. You know, that three-pointer was a prime example of just by himself. He got to set his feet and put it up, easy basket.
The intensity level that was here the other night to begin the game, certainly not present, both from the crowd and from the Cougs. And I think that is a major factor in what has transpired here in the first 5 minutes of this game.
It always makes a difference, you know, the energy level. You know, when your crowd is excited, you're excited, you want to do some big things. And when they're docile, then you play complacent.
It's unfortunate that that's how things work, but
you know, it's like in track and field and like the bigger jumps, they some guys, you know, they start the slow clap, you know, to get them pumped up.
Prescott. Rubio's working hard to try to get open. Rubio just kind of picked up his dribble in an awkward spot.
Get the ball moving now.
As Linez is going to try his hand at a long jumper, and that's no good. Central will kick another 3 on the way. That is good. Finds its way home for Johansson.
Little shooter's love right there.
You see Vlasic will come back into the game, and this is what I think Montgomery needs more of. Surprise, surprise. They got to get the ball and keep it in Curry's hands a little bit because he's got to make some plays. Great ball fake from Kai Lewis, and he throws a bounce pass underneath it.
Almost like Rubio wasn't ready for it.
Yeah.
Got to do something to change the momentum of this game.
That you do. So sometimes you have to go to the bench to find it, and Montgomery looks to Christian Rowan and Vlasic with 90 seconds to go in the first quarter. Curry tried to make something happen defensively and couldn't, as another three is on the way and good from Hunterdon Central.
So one thing I've always noticed, in every season, they're on point with their three-point game, you know? Hunterdon Central, it's like that's always their specialty.
Eric Molto on that one as Vlasic was hit in the lane and no call. And Hunterdon Central will again come the other direction. Good ball movement. And an up and under, but Rabayo sliding over to make the play. Linez tries again a little bit too much.
He's just got to take his time, slow it down, and get it in the hands of someone like Curry or Prescott or Noah.
This is going to be almost one of those that you throw in the trash for the first 8 minutes and just say, all right, it didn't happen. The game is now 3 quarters long. We got work to do.
Yep, you got to chip away at that lead. You don't have to get it all at once, but you got to get it, some of it soon.
Hunterdon Central looks like it's going to try to hold the ball for the final shot of the quarter. I think that's probably a pretty good move given the score at the moment, as we're now under 10 to go. Good job by Rowan to hedge. Into the lane, and a floater, no good, and that will put a merciful end to the first 8 minutes of basketball in Montgomery. And why don't we go to Mandy Shovelin before we head over to the break. Mandy.
All right, guys, in this first quarter, Montgomery is down 14 points, but Kai Lewis early in the first scored 3 points for Montgomery's total 3 points in this first quarter. Coming into the quarter, Montgomery was immediately in a 6-point deficit, but that Kai Lewis 3 gave them some momentum. In the first quarter, there were 6 turnovers on Montgomery's part, so hopefully that cleans up into the second quarter. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Mandy. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're caught in the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Back in Montgomery, and it was a heck of a first quarter for Hunterdon Central. And depending on your part of speech usage, it was a heck of a quarter for Montgomery, too.
Yeah. You know, that stat line that Mandy shared with us, the 6 turnovers in the first quarter, that's a large amount. Usually Montgomery is that for a half. Yeah. So that's something that I'm sure Coach Grundy has talked to him about when they were in the huddle.
Just seemed like way too frenetic. There was no need to push and force in the way that they did. Rowan leaves back outside. A good ball fake from Prescott. Hunterdon Central just looks like they're playing with a lot more energy as Rabayo is hit. He'll lay it in and one.
That's what we needed.
Trying to get the Cougs back in this one. As we see great post position here from Rabayo using his rear end to seal off a defender and ultimately finish near the rim. Thought you had a poke.
I did too. We had a good run.
Rabayo's first, or rather the bonus free throw is no good. Boy, talk about the unlucky roll there.
Yeah. Oh.
Good backdoor cut. It doesn't end up in anything for Hunterdon Central, though, off of the miss from Hersek. But instead, Rabayo will try his hand at it. No good. And an offensive rebound for Vlasic. I don't even think Curry's tried one yet.
No. And that's what we got to do. We got to keep crashing the boards offensively, make sure we get that second chance basket.
Great bounce pass inside, and Rabayo finishes.
I was hoping for a dunk.
Curry just showing off the court vision there, and you see him being a little fired up. Johansson misses from the corner, and they'll throw up again for Rubio, and he is hammered. Oh, they're going to say out of bounds? No way. No way.
How can you not call that a foul? Did he really just not call that?
Yeah, the ball got knocked out of his hands, and then he got absolutely destroyed on the way up. That is horrendous.
Yeah. The neck is part of the ball, apparently.
Wow. Grundy just turned around to the assistant and said, they didn't call a foul on that? As Curry goes to the rim, and he'll lay it in acrobatically.
Pure athleticism.
Timeout, Hunterdon Central. So Montgomery creeping right back into this one.
As Grundy goes over and questions the ref, you're not even call a foul on that?
What a great job by Curry there getting into the lane. We'll take a quick break. You're caught in the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back to the Den, and just what the doctor ordered, a little 6-0 run to start things for Montgomery. Lead down to 8. Things started as they usually do with Curry, as a dribble drive to the baseline is no good, and an offensive rebound from Tom Maynard.
It's a big putback. But they managed to get it within 10, so now it's, back to doing work.
Somebody on the backside needs to be a threat, as Rubio will try another 3. That's no good.
He's got to follow that shot.
Rowan being a pest in the backcourt. The reason why I say on the backside is a good ball fake. And we're going to get a foul as Prescott goes tumbling to the court. But the backside defender, if you watch Rubio posting up, backside defender is not feeling like he has to go any farther away than the block on the backside. So the double team, if they try to entry pass there, it's essentially a front and a back on Rubio, and that makes it really, really difficult. Curry goes for the steal, narrowly misses. And a travel. Fantastic analysis, boys.
I know.
You guys are just on the ball.
It's one of those games. Everything's a little flat. You're trying to.
Freaking killing me. 5:15 to go here in the first half, and the Cougs trail it by 10. Curry able to corral a bounce pass, and he'll kick for Prescott. A 3. Yes!
Now we're talking.
Back into the game.
Hopefully that's the catalyst for him,
There was absolutely no juice in here prior to that. Prescott recovers after leaving his feet. And here's a post up.
He's a big dude.
Well, another travel. And they're just going to get a shuffling of the feet on Molto.
And now things are starting to move in the right direction.
That is correct. That Tom Maynard and Rubio matchup is going to be a fun one to watch because just two big boys.
What year's Maynard?
He is a junior.
There you have it.
You can hear Grundy in the background pleading for some movement as Curry hoists up a contested 3. It's no good. Hunterdon Central, Tim, I think, just doing a way better job crashing the boards as a team.
Yeah. And they're
layup no good as Prescott will come down with it.
Risky pass.
Little floater for Curry as Lewis will get himself into the lane, and he goes with the left hand strong to the rim.
It's a really good drive by Kai.
The lead is down to just 5 points now as Montgomery is right back in this ball game as we're past the midway point of quarter number 2.
You know, you're watching Hunterdon Central play defense, and in the first quarter they were really swarming, and you can see some of that steam is starting to taper off.
Just don't know how long you can play at that pace. Maynard, he goes to the rim, no good, and we're going to get another travel. That was just a missed time. Well, I shouldn't even say a missed time jump from Prescott. He got a little bad luck because the ball stayed on the rim for another bounce that he wasn't expecting.
Yeah. You know, Hunterdon Central is really doing a terrific job on these offensive boards. You know, we got to do defensive boards a little bit stronger. You know, this is where you see Marco come into the game when you need those types of things to happen.
Curry, this is where you usually see the backdoor cut from somebody. Curry goes between two, goes into the lane, and they're going to say travel.
Looked like Rabayo and him had the same idea at the same exact time.
Yeah. His ability, though, to see a little sliver of daylight, get skinny, as they say, and work his way through.
Sneak through it.
Red Devils looking for their first bucket in a while. The kick out for 3 and good from Gillikin.
Seems to be where they're looking to pass in that general vicinity. That's like their third three-pointer from that spot.
Yeah. Prescott nearly got kneed in an area where no man wants to get kneed.
Where's that?
Take it easy. I'm not a biology teacher.
Yeah.
3 from Rabayo, no good. He's been on a bit of a cold streak the last game and a half from beyond the arc. Another 3, no good. Prescott for the rebound, and they need a bucket to get things back under control here. Curry is tripped and no call. That's another one that I don't understand how. I get it wasn't intentional, but
yeah,
it results in a layup.
These guys are letting them play tonight.
One direction, seemingly.
Yeah.
True.
Joe Say on the receiving end of that layup. Lewis will kick back out for Rabayo. A jump stop for Vlasic. His corner 3 somehow stays out.
Just in and out.
The lead again, 10 for Hunterdon Central. The turnaround in the lane, no good, and it will be knocked out of bounds off of the Red Devils.
A lot of guys on the court, you know, on the floor today.
That could have been really bad, actually, the way Prescott got rolled up on from behind.
I know.
That's something you almost see, you know, out of an offensive lineman in a football game. Curry. And Prescott as the trailer again, no good, and they're going to say a foul on Hunterdon Central.
Okay. A little worried with the way things have been going. I thought they were going to go over the top.
I think they're actually going to say that Gillikin pushed Rabayo into the Central player. 2 team fouls each way. Curry will pull up, and no, he can't get it to go, but he'll go to the line. Tyler Casella will pick up his first foul of the game.
See how he does here.
Good on the first for the sophomore. It's been just a disjointed first half from a momentum perspective. That's probably representative of it right there, 1 of 2. And
yeah, you almost automatically assume you're getting 2 points every time Curry gets to the line, you know?
Little miscommunication there as Johansson zigged when Gillikin thought he was going to zag.
Yeah, he looked like he lost his footing and just wasn't able to get to where he wanted to be.
Curry comes to get it. Calmly walks it over the timeline despite some pressure. You just get the feeling as Curry will pull up again from 3. That's no good. Just needs a little more air under the ball.
Yeah, he'll get that to fall.
You get the feeling that he just isn't really fazed by any kind of ball pressure. Central was patient at the end of the first quarter, and looks like they will be so again here. Into the lane for a turnaround jumper, no good. Ends up for a corner 3 at the buzzer, no good, and that will take us to the half. Boy, a forgettable first half for Montgomery. Just 15 points, as that's about as meager an effort that a Montgomery team has put up so far this season.
But 16 minutes left to play.
And we'll have Mandy Shevlin now, who's joined by Joe Bassford.
All right, guys, I'm here with Coach Bassford to ask him a few questions. So first, on the offensive side, there's been a lot of pressure lately. Which player stands out to you the most that really overcomes this pressure the best?
We got to keep getting Curry the ball. They're denying him everywhere. So we got to keep screening for him, getting him open so we can get us set in our offense a little bit better. I thought they did a good job denying him.
All right, after watching and coaching this first half, what is your team going to try to do to pull out this win?
We haven't hit any shots. I feel like they're playing a little harder than us right now. They were killing us in transition, so we got to get back. We didn't have a lot of passion that half, and I feel like we got to come out with a little more energy, a little more effort in the second half.
All right, thank you. Back to you guys.
We are at halftime. Montgomery trails it by 9, and we'll be back right after this. You're caught in the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back to Montgomery. We are in halftime of boys basketball, and a static, slow, stodgy, unoffensive first half, which was rather offensive, if I do say so myself, from a Cougar pace perspective. And it all adds up to a 9-point deficit to rival Hunterdon Central. Boys, what the heck is going on?
We were talking when you were gone, because we like to do that just so you didn't really hear it. But they played so slow. And then when they did try and play fast, it was the quickest decision they can make. And it's almost like, why are we going away from everything that's worked? Like, the cutting has stopped. The spacing's been bad. People are running into each other. It's like, I'm not really sure what's going on.
Is there a chance that this is a fatigue factor? I mean, we know that they were drained at points, in that Rutgers prep game on Tuesday, both because of the pace that, the Argos brought to the gym that Montgomery just wasn't able to sustain into the second half. That's the first thing. But the second thing was, you had so much emotion and energy tied up into that first half, and then kind of like the balloon deflated, and it feels like some of that's carrying over into tonight.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is you concentrate on the Rutgers prep game, you know what I mean? You were concentrating on that game, and this was maybe an afterthought. And then when you get to here, and after having such high emotions and having to be in that game so close for so long, and then to have that disappointment, then to come here and try to get your emotions back up, it's hard to do that. It's really hard for 14 through 18-year-olds to do something like that. It's hard for adults to do that.
Yeah, it's the truth. Constantly talking about it, how, we're trying to keep in perspective as adults here in school. You want the kids to do things right all the time, and we forget how long it took us in our own lives to just figure out what the right thing to do was. And, sometimes you got to temper expectations, but you don't necessarily win championships by doing it that way. Let's head on over to Mandy Shovelin. Mandy, what do you have for us?
All right, guys, here are your first half stats. In the first quarter, there were only 3 points scored by Montgomery. In the second quarter, there were only 12. That means 15 points at half for the Cougars. Rubio has 4 points, which is a lot less for him at half than usual, and he has 3 turnovers. Prescott has only 3 points, 4 rebounds, and only 1 turnover. And Curry has 2 points, 3 assists, 3 rebounds, and 2 turnovers. The turnover ratio is a lot more than the Cougars would like to see. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Mandy. Get the end of that report as another three-pointer from Gillikin goes down in the corner.
I mean, that's something that we did the whole first half, is that we didn't crash on the wings, and they had open shots, and obviously they're making them. They're good shooters, so we got to do a better job of closing that up.
Lewis for Prescott. And Rubio has this pocket picked as he tried to go into the middle. And a layup no good, but a rebound and a foul. No, they're going to say a travel first on Brian Johansson.
That was fortunate because they did get him.
No doubt about it.
Rubio kind of mistimed his jump.
Tyler Casella is a good man pressure defender. He's given Curry some problems, as Kai Lewis will throw it back across the defense. Rubio again able to work out of some trouble that time, just can't get the turnaround to go, but
that's going to be Montgomery ball.
They'll get another crack at offense. Try to go to Prescott right away, and he saves it as Kai Lewis acrobatically for a layup again early third quarter. He's really taking on that role.
Yeah, he's really having a good game today. Some nice acrobatic layups.
His speed defensively is something that you see quite a bit. Hunterdon Central has been as sharp as anybody in the half court, that we've seen this season.
And now you're watching Montgomery double the ball and
forces a turnover there as Casella couldn't handle it in the corner.
So I think we're probably going to see a little bit more of that, a little bit more pressure on the ball, double teaming the dribbler. I know it's not called the dribbler, but
you're working on it.
Yeah, I'll get it one of these days.
Here is Rubio, as he's really struggled to get going. I guess you could say that for pretty much everybody today, as Curry
really can.
Loses it there, and another steal from Central. A run out the other direction, and a reverse layup is no good. Just didn't have enough angle, did Johansson. That was just, a no-look pass inside. And just as is typical for the evening, Montgomery can't finish it.
Just a great look by Kai again.
Yeah. 10-point lead remains for Hunterdon Central. And another missed opportunity, but Johansson there again to clean up the mess. Here's Rubio, and he'll streak, he'll lay it in. He tried to dunk it, didn't need it, fouled, and he'll go to the line.
All right. Within 10 now, let's go get a 9-point deficit. We can get that.
You saw Rubio running the floor there impressively.
They must have talked to him in the locker room because he posted up the first 3 possessions and then he was running the floor that time. Somebody told him, hey, we need you right now.
He's got to be more aware of the double team when it comes, though.
Yeah, seems to favor one side on the spin.
Getting our first look at Arjen Gordy as he's getting set to check in, and Rubio cashes in on the free throw.
All right. I'm excited to see Gordy play.
Young man earning himself some minutes. This is the spot that I think that they were hoping that he could play as they employ this defense, and it lured Hunterdon Central into just what they wanted.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, go ahead, Tim.
He's already making stuff happen.
Through the years, you've seen Montgomery employ that defense where they're ready to trap, but it requires some length up at the top of that zone.
Yeah, the passing lanes are shrinking when he and Rubio are both kind of got both arms extended.
Here's Vlasic. He's going to try to get going, and he does with a 3.
So here we go.
And just like that, the lead is down to 6, and Hunterdon Central wants a timeout.
Gordy reminds me of Brackish in a lot of ways. I was talking to Coach earlier, Coach Bassford, and he said, he thinks by the end of it he might be even better than Brackish was. And to say that is a high compliment.
Yeah, we were talking with him about it the other night. You've seen other guys at the top of that zone who were lengthy just have a lot of success, from Timmy Maloney, back years ago to certainly Danny Engels and Ryan McCoy, even before all of them. And you'd have to hope that, this Rubio and obviously and Prakash, did a great job with it through the years. But maybe this is version 6.0 of that.
Yeah, I mean, as Rubio transitions out of high school and Gordy up the ladder, hopefully he can fill that role and you don't miss a beat.
I thought that was a good timeout from Falco. Basically, he said, calm down. We're not going to get beat by this over and over again. Here's what I want you to do. And here's a short corner jumper, no good. So, again, they baited Hunterdon Central right into what they want, because that's really what that's designed to do, throw over the top and get a shot you're not looking for. Curry will try to carve into this 6-point lead. As a good ball fake from Prescott. And they just had some spacing issues.
Yeah, that's been a common theme tonight. They're kind of running into each other.
Prescott. And now Rubio. Looking for somebody to make something happen.
But this is good. You got to get your shot, you know what I mean? Move the ball around until you can find it.
Gordy. He'll go to the post to the other big man as Prescott back out front three. That's short. And the rebound to the Red Devils.
Doesn't crash into, could have possibly had that board if he did.
Siskowski, they just floated around the outside. It ends up in a wide open three from Molto.
Linez looking to check in.
9-point lead again for Hunterdon Central. Montgomery has not been able to crack inside of 6 in some time. Curry. And they're going to get a foul. They'll call Molto for the hand check.
Third quarter really flying by. It's only already 2 minutes, 19 left in it.
Tom Maynard back into the ball game as Gillikin will get a rest. Curry right off the inbound. He'll fire away from 3. That's toilet bowls out, and they're going to get Linez over the back. I check it, they get Gordy.
It almost looked like he was pushed into Gordy.
So again, we'll see what Montgomery can do defensively. And a good job of getting into the middle, but it's going to end up in a steal.
Called jump or foul?
No, I think they're going to get a foul. Yeah. Brian Johansson will pick up the foul his first.
That's good.
That's one of the things that has kept the pace of this game, from a just, like you said, wow, there's already only 2 minutes to go in the quarter. It has not been a lot of fouls in this game at all.
Yeah.
They were trying to get Curry running behind a couple of screens into the corner, but defended well by Hunterdon Central, and just a giveaway there from Rubaio. The 6'9" junior doing a good job to get back on D, and Linez providing some help on the boards, which hasn't really been there, as Prescott spins and leaves for Gordy. He'll try a little short corner. That's no good.
They're just having to work way too hard on offense for no results sometimes.
Johansson will try a 3. That's no good. Rubaio, though, there to track it down. He throws up ahead for Curry, and he'll go into the middle. An off-balance floater, good from the sophomore.
That's it. That's what he's got to do. He got to get him the ball. I like Gordy on the court, but offensively right now, I don't know how much he's offering. But you watch him defensively, he's making Hunterdon Central a little, make their pass path just off.
A good feed inside, and Johansson finishes at the rim despite a challenge from Rubaio. Curry again looking to get some things going. And they're going to say there's a foul.
There's just not a lot of energy. They're cutting, but
Yep.
It's almost like they're cutting for the sake of I need to move, but there's not a purpose on some of them.
Maynard will pick up the foul. I thought they were going to call a moving screen. Gordy nearly has it stolen, but he's able to tip it into the hands of Linez.
Yeah, kind of redeems himself.
Rubaio retreats for 3. That's no good. He's 0 for 4. We were talking the other night as a backdoor cut and a great finish at the rim for Siskowski.
All things Hunterdon Central right now.
Linez takes a tumble. Good help defense as Curry will pull up, and that will be out of bounds with 0.3. That'll essentially do it for the end of the third quarter. And you get another static ending to a quarter. And let's head over to Mandy Shelvin before we head to the quarter break. Mandy.
Okay, guys, what's really hurting the Cougs in this third quarter is missing opportunities. Like Coach Bassford said at half, the Cougs are missing a lot of their opportunities, and they were lacking the passion. if the Cougs start playing with passion, they start playing hard, and these opportunities start falling, the Cougs could end with this win. Back to you guys.
A lot of ground to make up here. 11 points in 8 minutes. You're caught in the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Welcome back to Montgomery. Fourth quarter. All that's left at this point for the Cougs. And they need to step it into overdrive as quickly as humanly possible. Can they do it? Remains to be seen. Rubio
Just need to get on a roll.
has his shot blocked. That's not the way you want to start.
No, but the intent is good. Get him in the post, get him trying to get closer to the basket.
We're going to get a travel here first.
I thought so.
I would love to see Rubio get some confidence with a couple of layups or just something in transition, because he keeps going out to the three-point line and it's not working, and then he's not really feeling that great about it.
I agree with that. I would have loved if he had been able to fight through that double there, but
I'd like to see us just get some open shots. You know, we have really all our shots have been contested.
Curry for Vlasic. Noah, his second three is no good, and they'll get Linez, as it was a good job there by Hunterdon Central to box out. Give Molto the credit. Just the first foul on Linez and only the second on the Cougs this half.
You just can't have Gordy be the only guy bringing energy. There needs to be more.
But you can hear Grundy over there just telling players to go. You know, they're just kind of watching the shot, watching the ball. Go to where you need to be.
Another great set of ball movements, and it ends in a layup. Maynard that time on the receiving end. The lead is back to 13. Curry will pull up from beyond the arc. Yes. Timeout for Grundy. So let's reset it for you here as we take another look at that. Curry just says, if I'll be left all alone, I may as well knock it down. So the lead is 10, 38 to 28, and you just seemingly waiting and waiting and waiting for the adrenaline to kick in, and it just hasn't.
I mean, you talk about the law of averages, too. I mean, eventually some of these have to fall, and I guess you can't go away from the three now just because it hasn't worked a lot.
To me, this just looks like an energy level issue, and it's almost like it's actually kind of funny because it mirrors like where my internal energy level is right now. It's like the end of a long day, and you know, you get those days where you're just drained, and it's almost like they're the basketball personification of that.
Yeah, it's stodgy was a really good way to put it. They're not their normal selves, but a couple of baskets and they kind of perk up. We just need to get that run going a little bit more.
Yeah. Defensively, we got to stop Hunterdon Central because it seems as if every time we make one of those big baskets, they come back down with an easy layup or they hit a basket and then negate what we just accomplished.
So what they need is a stop. You can't get 10 back at a time. You got to do it one bucket at a time.
You can on NBA Jam.
Is that true?
Wait, what cheat code is that?
There's didn't they have like the money spots?
Nearly a push-off.
NBA Jam 2.
Didn't even know that was the thing.
It's not.
SNES, or yeah, I think it was.
Another layup. Boy, Hunterdon Central shares the basketball well.
Yeah, it's hard to play D when everybody's moving every second.
And then I give them credit for not backing off of this full court pressure.
But it's not that we've done terrible to deal with the pressure. Offensive.
Nope, they're going to get Hunterdon Central.
That was fortunate.
The spacing has been messing up the post, too. Bio hasn't been able to get post position because of the double, but then they're not spaced well enough for that three to be open either. So it's almost like nothing happens from it.
Another lazy pass just stolen. Another effort play from Hunterdon Central. That's all it is. Short corner jumper, no good, and it's out of bounds off of the Red Devils. Kai Lewis has been the only one really playing with any kind of pace at all tonight for Montgomery. Curry comes back to the basketball to get it.
Little double.
And Curry throws wildly into the middle, and it's turned over. That is as uncharacteristic as it gets.
Yeah.
When it rains, it pours.
I mean, he felt the double team, so he understood that somebody's open, but
Maynard gets another layup to go, and Hunterdon Central just seemingly relentless in this game. Lewis will go to the post now. And now back underneath, a floater no good. He's able to track it down, but as he tried to save it from going out, Jose was there to retrieve it. They'll get Prescott on the floor, no shot.
Good attempt to, make it look like the N1.
Yeah. No call on Johansson's contact with Curry, and he can't get the layup to go. Kai Lewis will throw up a floater in the lane with the right hand. He's playing his best offensive game of the season.
yeah, if he's attacking, it's great, but he cannot be the only one attacking.
Yeah.
It's one of those where because he's the only one doing it, it stands out so much.
Yeah.
Curry just with a theft, and it ends up off of Prescott.
Yeah. Hunterdon Central is just really moving the ball around. It's not in one spot for more than a few seconds, and making Montgomery work on defense.
True story. Halfway through the fourth, Montgomery still has work to do, down by 12. You're caught in the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Cougars coming up against the clock as the sixth defender, as we're just past the 4-minute mark of the fourth quarter, and still a 4-possession game if everything would go correctly. Have to start putting some stops and some buckets together, and they have not been able to do either.
Still a lot of time.
Yeah, but this might be designed three-point shots only territory. We're getting close.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hunterdon Central's just going to move that ball around until they're forced to take a shot.
This is where not having, or having a game rather that hasn't had a lot of fouls called could really work against Montgomery, as that'll frustrate a head coach right there, because Jose tried to throw a no-look pass into a situation where, I mean, Montgomery didn't look like they were at all ready to stop the half-court offense, so I would have dribbled it for another minute.
It's just like we said earlier in the season, don't make that great pass, just make the smart pass.
Rubio working for his own space. Now back out for Vlasic. And Rubio, and he's going to be fouled and one.
All right, so that is.
Oh, no, they're going to wave that off. Wow.
Wow.
Oh, my gosh.
It looked like a continuation to me.
Let's take another look at it. You see Rubio get into the line. That's absolutely a continuation. That's not a good call. Curry hits the side of the backboard. You can see the frustration. Just Curry is the embodiment of it here. And a great job as Vlasic dives on it and Grundy gets a timeout to get a possession.
I mean, that was impressive. Just laid out, belly flopped onto the floor, get the ball.
Let's take another look at Vlasic's effort. He has been no stranger to that type of effort this season.
I mean, they need that, and they also need the defense, just a quick steal, a block, anything that has some more energy than just chasing shooters around the perimeter, because that doesn't give you that jolt. It's too routine for them now.
It's funny that N1 layup from Rubio, which was ultimately waved off, the whole gym was kind of holding its collective breath. Like there was not a reaction. My reaction to the ball going down was probably the most emotional reaction of anybody in the gym.
Yeah.
Because I think everybody was looking at the officials going, yeah, that seems like it should be an N1, but your hand's not in the air. I don't get it. Cougs break the press easily.
It was more confusing than anything.
Yeah. Finally, some ball movement. Rubio underneath for Kai Lewis. His reverse layup is no good. And Falco will get a timeout as Montgomery had about 3 men attacking the basketball. Full timeout, Hunterdon Central. We'll take it with them. Cougs down by 12. You're caught in the mire. It's the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Back here in Montgomery 30 and Hunterdon Central 42. Seems like it should be the second quarter with a score like that. But yet here we are, minutes away from the conclusion of this one. Montgomery has to really start flying around defensively. And they'll get a turnover quickly. Vlasic trying to bring a little bit of energy.
There you go. You put the opposite of the Glock hex on it that time around.
Curry sprinting across the midcourt line. And he gives it back out for Prescott. I don't know that if you're Prescott, you can pass up on three-pointers like that.
No.
Because
slightly contested is okay right now.
Right now, absolutely.
Ball's got to fall.
And as Prescott ran past Grundy, he just told him, he said, you got to shoot, man.
And now it's going to get into, we're going to start seeing some fouls soon.
Yep, it's working into a game of keep away here.
And there it is.
Just the 4th team foul as Curry reaches in.
Remember that scene in Space Jam when they all the powers went into the ball?
Yeah.
Feeling like that scene where all the powers went out of the ball.
Yeah. And we're going to get a foul as Johansson was on his way to the hoop. So they'll get Prescott his third, the team's fifth, but Johansson's going to, no, they're going to say it's on the floor. I was going to say that after the non-continuation call against Rubio, that'll be Prescott 2 in a row. And finally, after this one, Hunterdon Central will be in the bonus with 90 seconds to go. And if they get Prescott, that's, yep, and he's fouled out.
That's not what you want to see.
And he's just realized that he's fouled out. Yeah, usually you can't sub until after the first free throw, but after a fifth foul, you can't stay on the court. So,
well, they still have shooters. 3 guys out there consistently making threes. So
yeah, you need Curry to get some open shots. You need Noah to make some open shots as well.
Siskowski is 1 of 2, and of course this is going to get tracked. Oh, I thought Siskowski just let it go out of bounds. That's another thing that drives coaches bananas. Just grab the ball, man.
Yeah, you had a chance. Don't worry about it. Just grab it.
Don't leave it in the hands of somebody else to call it one direction or the other. Just grab it. Vlasic driving and kicking. Kai Lewis will go to the lane with that patented floater, and he can't get it to go. And Rubio will reach in and ultimately send Molto to the line.
You might have been on to something with the fatigue from Rutgers prep. Might have been on to something.
Yeah, I don't know any other way to describe it. There's not a rational rhyme or reason for what happened here today.
I mean, you see it in professional sports all the time. A team has a huge win one week versus a, seemingly unbeatable opponent, and then the next week when it's someone that they should normally beat, they just fall. They play down to the competition, and
Sixers do that to me about once a week.
Sixers in a bit of a interesting spot.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's a soap opera, and that's not what you want.
Vlasic knocks down his second 3 of the game.
I get 4 more of those and we're in business.
He comes right back to pick up the foul.
That's his first.
Christian Rowan's in the game, as is Eric Shaw and Chris Schnackenberg.
So what do you try and take from this one?
Nothing.
All right.
This is a bury the tape game.
Yeah.
Forget it happened.
Gillikin makes the first. And, I'm not trying to take anything away from Hunterdon Central at all when I say this, but I see this as squarely on the shoulders of Montgomery. Ishar is short with his three-pointer.
Yeah, their ball movement was very good, but our reactions to it was not up to normal standards.
Right. It's not, you didn't look at this and go like, oh, this is amazing. We've never seen anything like this before. It wasn't like that.
No, they ran their offense. They ran it well, but couldn't get a stop.
No, not seemingly all night. I don't know if Montgomery put back-to-back buckets together outside of, early in that second quarter.
Yeah, I mean, credit where credit's due, though. Hunterdon Central hit all their threes. They had open looks and were able to hit them.
So that will wind down the clock and send us to a merciful final score. And the Cougs lose this one by 11. Let's head down to Mandy Shovlin. Mandy.
All right, guys, even though the Cougars didn't come out on top on this game, it's definitely a learning opportunity for them. Hopefully, after days of practice, they can come into their next game with a fresh mindset, ready to get a win. Back to you guys. Great game, Cougs.
What do you guys take away from this game?
You know, I take away that you got to bring more energy. You know, you got to come with a little bit more pep in your step, ready to go after it. You know, and you can't underestimate your opponent. You know, I think maybe we thought that this game compared to Rutgers Prep was going to be a little bit easier, and you know, the Hunterdon Central. What is Hunterdon Central? What are they?
Red Devils.
Red Devils. That's right. You know, they came to play and they did well. So.
Yeah, and ultimately not Montgomery's night. We are going to do some checking on the availability of broadcasting from Princeton Day School on Tuesday. Need to make sure that that is logistically feasible before we tell you that. You can keep an eye on our Twitter feed. We'll tweet that out for you. We'll probably put it on Instagram as well. But at worst, we will be back with you next Thursday night right here from the Cougar Den as Montgomery will host West Windsor Plainsboro South on senior night. All that said, a forgettable 44-33 loss for Montgomery. And the preview has been a production of the Myers, the sole property of the Montgomery Internet Radio Experience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of this game without the express consent of the Myers strictly prohibited. Cougs lose the snoozer. For Matt Pogue, Tim Bartholomew, Andy Shevlin, and Jen Kroc, I'm Keith Glock. Thanks for watching.